Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Leaders Launchpad. I think we've got a few people already on. I'm Julie Hutchison. I'm just waiting for Susan to come along as well. Susan Bradshaw. Oh, yeah, we've got people joining now. So hello, everyone. Nice to see you here. While we just wait for a few of the others to come on, we've got about half the people on already. There is a chat box there. If you want to say hi and who you are and where you're from, what you might like to get out of this, that would be great. That'd be lovely. Get you talking a little bit. If you can find the chat box, that'd be wonderful. Yeah, we've got a few people on already. So I'll just give people a few minutes to come. Yeah, about 2/3 of the people now, so that's fantastic. Hello. For those of you who've just joined, hello. We're just waiting for everybody to get into the room. After my technical issues today, I was wondering whether anybody would actually turn up. So apologies for anybody who saw the craziness this morning that told you it was like 12 o'clock or something. My fault entirely. I dared to go in where my admin person really ought to be. Yes, well, it has its that's the outcome. That's why I don't do admin normally. Philippe, hello, wonderful, you're here. That's great. I was worried when I saw your email. Kate, hello, everyone. Hello there. Thank you for saying hello. That's wonderful. You found the chat box. Brilliant. From the Netherlands, Kate. Wow. Okay. And Philippe from France. It's very European already, isn't it? But that's only 2 of you, and I know there's at least 20 something on the line already. So be nice to hear from everybody else while we're just waiting for Susan. And she's just emailed me, so I'm just going to check what she said, see if she's got a problem coming into the webinar. Let's see. While you're doing that, don't forget to say hello. Let's have a look. What's she saying? Oh, hold on. She says she doesn't seem to be connected to us. Oh, right. Just a moment. Right. Let me just see if I can get Susan in. Wonderful. Oh, I can see lots and lots of more things. So hold on a second. And link. I've just sent Susan the link again. We can do it without her, but who would want to, hey? If you know Susan, we would love to be with her. So let me just see. Hold on a second. Just send her. Let's see. Okay. We'll give her a few minutes. So let's have a look, see what messages we've got. So we've got Marta. Hello, Marta from Italy. And Ina from Sao Paulo. Now this is getting really nice. Oh, we've got Anna Zwageman from Scotland. Thank you. So somebody in the UK. Morwenna from Devon. Oh, I love Devon. And we've got Samantha from Cambridge, Mary from Scotland. Hello from Scotland. Linda, Glasgow, another Scotland. Emma from the Isle of Man. Wow. Sarah from Manchester. Jana, Kirsty. What's that? Northeast of England. That's very unspecific. I was up there in Whitby, Kirsty, the other day, and Scarborough, having a wonderful time. It was lovely. And Geraldine from Singapore. Is that the furthest away? I think it might be. Lots of people. Wonderful. There's lots of you there. And oh, Abigail, one from London. Normally we get more. And that's great. And we'll just start. We'll start shortly, but I just want to make sure Susan can get in the room. Okay. Let me see if she's just sent me an email. Okay. It's only 4 minutes over, isn't it? Brilliant. Can everybody see my slides? That's probably the first thing I need to ask you, actually, while we're here. And while we're just waiting for Susan. Can you see my slides? Oh, and Sylvia, another from London. Lovely. Not that it makes any difference that you're from London, but it makes me... I'm from Wiltshire, everybody. So, oh, wonderful. Thank you, Samantha and Linda. I'm from Wiltshire, near Stonehenge, near the... it's the English Heritage Site. So I feel quite at home at the moment. Wonderful. That's great. Right. Well, Susan doesn't seem to be able to get in. So I'm going to start shortly, but I'm going to send her what I call the emergency link. Oh, no, Susan's here. I don't need to send her the emergency link. Hello, Susan.
Hello. I don't know what went wrong there. Sorry.
It's all right. Don't worry. You're only a couple of minutes. We were just saying that we're checking everybody can see my slides and finding out where everybody's from. So we've got people from Singapore and Sao is that Brazil? Sao Paulo. I'm terrible at geography. And all over the place. So that's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of lovely people. So that's wonderful. Brilliant. So, and can you see my screen as well, Susan?
I can, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, well, we're set then. It's all right then. I was just apologising for the slight panic I gave everybody this morning when I sent out a wrong email saying it was starting in an hour about 11:30. So I got a few emails from people saying they were a bit confused, which is not surprising. So apologies for that, everybody. But we're here today. So welcome officially, everybody. And what we're here to do today is to have a discovery session around our Leaders Launchpad Leadership Development Mastermind Program, as it says in that lovely picture there. And it's a little joint enterprise that Susan and I thought up a good couple of years ago now, that's been really successful. We're on our 4th cohort. And today what we want to do is we want to tell you all about it, tell you what we've been doing, tell you the results we've been getting, and to answer any questions about what it could do for you, and if you would like to join us in the next cohort, which starts on November the 4th. The introductory session is November the 4th. And so that's what we're going to do today. So Susan, would you like to say anything to start with, or shall I just get going?
No, I think I'm just received an email from Sonia Scholl who wants to join us. So I'm just sending it to you so that you can send her the link.
I'm going to send her the emergency link that I was just talking about before. Yeah, that's no problem at all. And yeah.
Okay.
If you're able to, if I can grab that, well, if you just, I'll be a little bit. There we go. I've got it actually. Sonia, yes.
Sent it. Yeah.
Hang on then. Let me just do that to Sonia, and we'll be ready to go.
I mean, the leaders Launchpad. I don't know anybody who went to the Icon 19 conference last year will have heard from a few people who were the original, the first tranche of people doing it, aren't they? So.
Yeah. We've had a lot of people through now that have had some amazing results, and I was very excited the other day. I know we haven't started talking about anything yet, but I'm just too excited not to say. One lovely lady who was umming and ahhing about whether to join our most recent one, which only started in June, because she said, "Oh, I haven't been promoted yet, and I'm not sure if there's maybe a job coming up, and I wasn't sure whether to do it." And we helped her with her application and helped her with her interview in giving her some tips and hints. And she sent me an email yesterday and told me that she got the job, and I was so excited because we only started in June and she already got promoted. So I was really excited about that one. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is really nice. I shan't say her name because she hasn't actually given me the permission to do that, but next time I'll get permission. But it was just lovely because she was, quite a new leader and really wasn't sure, and then she said it really helped her in to get where she wanted to get to, and she hasn't even done all the whole course yet, so think how great she's going to be. So let's get on then. So here we go. Let's move along a little slide. Susan and I had a lovely conversation quite some time ago now at the Southwest Federation of Museums conference, I think it was, wasn't it? Down in Exeter, about how do we develop, grow and thrive people who are in the conservation space without sending them off on a big long course, a residential course, a one-off, and expecting them to go away for a couple of weeks and then come back and be a changed person. And I was speaking at that event talking about leadership, and Susan said to me, "Do you do anything online?" And I said, "Well, I do actually. We're just developing it," because what we wanted to be able to do was to help people to do exactly that, develop, grow and thrive as a leader, without having to just pull themselves out of what they do, but by actually immersing themselves in change throughout a period of time, a year that we've picked, or 14 months actually, in order to really experience that change by osmosis, I suppose, but by not having to just go somewhere, but actually being able to come on to online and be part of a group of people that are all developing together at a time that really suits you, and a place that suits you. Now, especially since we've got coronavirus, we can't go anywhere anyway. So we I think we were ahead of our time, Susan, really.
Yeah.
um, and I mean,
we're leaders.
I know, exactly. Yeah, we certainly led that one. And so we came up with this cunning plan to really look at what do all of you need in order to do this without having to pull yourselves out of what you're already doing, but actually by immersing yourself and bringing it within, and really getting a lot of action and change and success, really. So we designed the Leaders Launchpad. Can I just check? There's a number of you in here. There's quite a few. Almost everybody. We've got about 80% attendance rate, so that's lovely. All very good. What's most important to you? Developing and growing, thriving, surviving? What's the big thing on your mind at the moment? Do you want to pop in the chat? I know you've been quite active on the chat there for me. That's lovely. So what's most important to you at the moment, in terms of why you're here? Not just surviving coronavirus, I suppose, but why you're here. What do you want to achieve? I'd be really interested as we go along to see some of those things coming into the chat box there. And so while we're waiting for those to come through, because they do take a little bit of time there. So one of the things that happened is Susan and I decided, like, let's get this done. And thank you, Susan, for having faith in me, because she didn't know me very well. She just seen me speak. So I just want to talk a little bit about me while we're waiting for those things to come in, a little bit about who I am. And so here I am here, the two faces of me, Julie Hutchison. I was a police officer for 16 years, so I'm not a conservator, and I still hold the belief that's a good thing for you guys when I'm working with you, for many reasons. I was a police officer. I was an inspector in Hertfordshire Police for 16 years, and before that I was an engineer. I worked with Black & Decker and British Bakeries, make Hovis and all those sorts of things. And I became a leadership coach back in 2011, left the police in 2013 to start my own company, and as it says there, I won Executive Coach of the Year in 2015. And I started my business working with people who want to grow, particularly what I call technical experts who are in a leadership position. So people who are really, really good at what they do, like you, who have probably trained to a really high degree in that, but now may find themselves in a leadership position, or want to be in a leadership position, or have a business where they need to be the leader and want to grow that business, and to help those people to use the influence and impact that you need and want to develop in order to be successful in being that leader, encouraging people to grow around you as well. And so that's a little bit about me. I now work predominantly online, but I do go into people when I can, when I'm allowed to go in and do training. I do leadership coaching and training, and I also do mediation and a few other things. So lots and lots of different things are strings to my bow, but particularly I'm passionate about helping people who are technical experts in their field. That's a little bit about me. So back to you guys. I'm just going to look at your chat here. So Emma said developing not just a leader, but to guide, in brackets, convince colleagues too. And Emma, that really comes out in a lot of what we're talking about in our current and previous cohorts, is that leader doesn't just mean having staff. It doesn't even mean having any staff. It can mean that you just need to be able to convince, as you say, colleagues, but also if you've got your own business, it's suppliers and customers and clients and all sorts of people, to be able to influence people in a positive way, such that they see you as the person to go to, and to learn from and to grow from and to be advised by, and that's really important. Jana says communicating, encouraging and adoption of conservation practice and policy. There's a long one, with professional peers who are not conservators. Oh yes, Jana, that's a really important thing, is to be able to get your point across and to be able to speak up and have the confidence to speak up for conservation and for yourselves. Really, really important. And that's one of the things that's come about very, very regularly is the word I'm looking for. Absolutely. Yeah. Kate wants to be a leader, grow in her career. Yeah. She's doing her MSc training. You would like to start off on the right foot, and I'm sure you will, my dear. Okay. Yeah. Meredith wants to develop and grow. Wonderful. What else have we got here? Adapting to change and being able to make the most of opportunities by more when. Yeah, absolutely. I think we need the leadership mastermind, and the leadership mindset is really, really important, because quite often we find that people can be very stuck in the way they've done things or the way they've had things go before, and especially in these times we've got a huge amount of change, and to be able to adapt and change and grow from that and be positive about that, to bring people with us, is really, really important. Yeah. And Constanza says developing and surviving. Linda, yeah, developing, growing, but now surviving. And sometimes we have to meet people where we are, and you know it's been a hard times, but what we want to do is to be able to take that, and as one or two of the others have said, is take this difficult time and make it into an opportunity for you as well. Yeah. Kate wants to develop and learn to lead a team efficiently. Samantha, developing, growing, thriving along the way. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So there's loads and loads of things. Mary, the last one I'm just going to read out there. She wants to be able to take people with her. I'm being positioned into a leadership role with colleagues in my current team. Fantastic, Mary. And that's so important what you say there. Be able to take people with you, because leadership isn't about telling people what to do. It's about having the influence and impact so that people want to come with you and they're enabled to be able to come with you. That's really, really important. Okay. So I said that Susan and I had this conversation, and one of the things that Susan had done previously, and forgive me, Susan, I can never remember where it was you did it.
It was a conference in Birmingham.
Oh, good. Thank you. She asked a bunch of people from this conference what's going on for them. And I've asked you there what you want, but this is what people said they wanted as well. And this is sort of a wider audience as well. And these are the things that they came up with. Leadership principles, that's not a surprise, is it really? But self-awareness, understanding, how do I show up? What's the impact of me on other people? That became really important. And I agree with that. That's one of the very first things that you can do, because you can't change unless you know what impact you're having at the moment. And then definition of goals, really getting clear about what it is I'm trying to go towards. I don't know about you, but if you want something to happen, generally the first thing you do when you say you're going on holiday is, where are we going? And if you don't tell people where they're going, they can't pack the right suitcase. They'll end up with a bikini in a skiing season or something like that. So understanding your goals is really, really important. Where am I going to? And strategic thinking was a big one as well, and helping people who, especially in conservation, who they might. I hear a lot of the word bench work and really getting in the weeds of things, but coming up and looking at the strategy of whatever the organisation is or whatever you're trying to do is really very important too. So people are identifying that's something that they need help with. They need that challenge, but they need confidence to be able to move forward. And what we've found is a lot of people on the cohorts have been sort of said to me, well, I don't tend to step up. I don't tend to say what I think. I tend to hold back because I don't necessarily have the confidence in what I'm saying, even though I'm probably an expert in what I'm saying, but I don't say it. And so what we look at is how to build that confidence in what you stand for, what you believe in. And that's really important. So we've pulled that into the program. We here communication was one of the biggies, and I think always is one of the biggies, is how do I communicate what I want and to get people to actually listen and do something about it. Very important. So we spend quite a bit of time on how we improve communication. And then this was very interesting, I thought, this, and I'm gonna go for support, and I'm gonna go for the next blue blob, which is accountability, because I don't know about you, but if I go on a course, often what happens is I get very enthusiastic and in the moment on a course, but when I come back from that course, I tend to put everything down and then back to normal life. And I don't necessarily implement as much as I want to, because either I'm not quite sure, or there's nothing to push me along, or there's no one there. It's like working in a vacuum. And so we don't necessarily get out of it what I really wanted to in terms of implementation. I think the word is there. And I think this is where people are coming from, and they want support and accountability to be able to actually implement this, actually make changes to themselves and be able to play with it, let's say, and have the confidence to give it a go. And that's what we found when we've introduced these things into the program, particularly because people are shouting out for that. Am I on my own? Please tell me in the chat that I'm not on my own when if I'm the only one who goes on a course and then comes back and then puts it in a drawer and doesn't do anything with it sometimes. Is that just me? Then the other one there is action. I think that goes with it, because when you have support and accountability, and we're having fun as well, which they didn't say, but we do on our course, people take action. They need to be able to take action. It's not just about more and more learning. Okay. And so that's what we were told was really important. So that's what we did. And so what we're doing is what we call the mastermind approach, which is where we're saying, thank you, Fiona, for being so lovely and telling me that you do, by the way. What we're saying is that you can't change behavior. You can't change what you do unless you change how you think. And then when you change how you think and you get clear in your mind of what's going on and understanding, then you can change behaviors, and you can choose to change behaviors rather than just wondering how you got there for the day. So when we change behaviors, it becomes much easier to change the actual actions that we take. And so the mastermind approach looks at thinking differently, behaving differently, and therefore doing differently as a leader. Okay. And so what that means is that we recognize that it isn't just about learning and me talking, although I'm doing quite a lot of that today. It's about conversation, it's about understanding, and it's about that accountability to take a different action and commitment to do that, then going away and doing it. Okay. So we have a mastermind approach where we blend the training, the telling, and the showing with coaching. So we use training and coaching. And we use support mechanisms where we actually bring in the ability to talk to each other between all the sessions, so that we can really make sure people are changing the way they think and taking action and coming back and showing what they've got. So it's really about growing together. So not hiding in a room and just hoping that you've done it right, but actually having that conversation and showing. But I'll show first, so don't worry. And so what that means is that what we've created is, first of all, it's online, so it makes it accessible. It's very accessible. We use Zoom. I think probably, I used to say, has anybody used Zoom? And people would say no. But now I think after coronavirus being in lockdown, I think we all know how to use that. So we use Zoom for our meetings, and what that means is you can be at home or in the office or wherever you want to be, and it's very accessible, and we also record those sessions. But because we're doing this in over 12 months plus an introduction session and a wrap-up session at the end, so it ends up as 14 months, because we do this, we embed it over time. So we're asking you to go away, try it out, give it a go, come back. And what that means is that you start to really just blend it into the way you are, who you are, and start to actually take on these new behaviors. And so it's a long-term development. It's not a quick fix. We get those changing behaviors, and because you have me and the rest of the group for peer support, what that means is you actually you want to come along, you keep momentum, because you're not sat there in a little vacuum of your own wondering, am I doing the right thing? Which I think is really, really important. Susan, if you do want to say anything, do chirp in at any appropriate time, by the way. And if you have a question, anybody on the call, please just pop it into the chat room. That's no problem at all. Okay, so you might be wondering then, so what does it look like? Well, we break it down into the 6 elements of leadership, and I'm just going to nip across to the next slide. So we focus on these 6 elements here, and I'm just going to nip through them pretty quickly. So first of all, we're going to look at focus and direction. And I just hinted at a little bit there about where we go on holiday. If you want somebody to come with you, the first thing that we have to do is, well, where are we going? We have to show them where we're going, but we need to get that right in our mind. So the first thing about leadership is knowing where you're going or where your organization is going, and understanding where that comes from. So we take a really good look at, how do we build the vision and the mission for an organization? How do we understand the values and beliefs of an organization, and how we're communicating that with the business? Because quite a lot of the time we find that people may have an idea in their head, but they haven't communicated it very well. Okay. Just a quick question from Kate. She says, how frequently the sessions? Once a month are the formal sessions, and we have the dates already set, so you can put them in your diary. And then we have groups in between where we can have updates and share things, Kate. And Kirsty says, will it be a problem that I'm on maternity leave? Not at all. No, Kirsty, all of that, whether you have a job or not, whether you're being made redundant, whether you have a baby, the whole point of this is totally to help you to show up in the way that you need to. And you can put your baby on your knee if you want to come along like that. That's totally open to me. I don't mind. So not at all. And whether you have a job or not, this, as I said before, I shan't name the lovely lady's name, but this is about helping you to find what you want as well and be an influencer, which will help you to get the job that you want to get when you're ready to get it, if it's a business or if it's a job that you want. So no, it's not a problem at all. And if you want to, we can have a chat offline about that. So focus and direction, first of all, is really, really important. So we take a deep dive into that. But it's no good having that if nobody wants to be with you or wants to work anywhere near you. So the second thing that we do is we look at engagement. And what I mean by that is, how do we understand people? How do we communicate with people in the way that they need to be communicated with? Because if people don't want to be around you, then it really means that actually you're not going to have the influence that you want, as hard as you try. So we need to understand, well, what makes me tick? What makes other people tick? And how can I utilize that to the best of my ability so that I can engage with people such that they want to do the things that we want them to do? And that might be, as I said before, a supplier, a colleague, somebody who is your direct report, or it might even be your boss. We do find that we do a lot of this with with bosses as well. So it comes from all angles, and that's the beauty of looking at it from an impact and influence point of view. As a leader, you don't have to be somebody's boss. Okay. So the next thing we do is we look at how do we grow people's skills, because what happens often is that when people, especially when people are really good at what they do, they find it a little bit hard to delegate. Is anybody willing to say they find it hard to delegate? I do find there's quite a few people here that not necessarily here, but in the Launchpad generally, who have quite a difficulty in letting go. And what we look at in here is how do we develop our skills and the people around us skills into enabling those people to be able to grow, so that you are able to trust them. I think the word is that we talk about a lot. Thank you, Mary and Kate and Sarah. Trust and develop them such that they are able to be coached rather than told, and that you can give up some of the things that you perhaps thought you couldn't give away, because people take more responsibility. So it's not about technical conservation skills. It's much more about growing people skills and coaching skills for you so that you can enable people. So the next section, though, is about you and your mindset. Because we need to look at how is our mindset as a leader. When we're good at stuff, quite often we don't tend to take the mindset of a leader. We take the mindset of the doer, and it's not very healthy for us. I'm just going to blow my nose 1 second. Thank you. So it doesn't work, because if we haven't got the mindset of a leader, then we'll be finding that we'll be putting obstacles in our way in order to delegate, as we were talking about just now. So let alone whether we've got the skills to do it, we won't be wanting to do it. And we won't be thinking like a leader, we'll be thinking like the person at the bench all the time. And we have to compartmentalize that sometimes and pick out our leader brain at times. So we look at how do we do that, and we really help people to understand what the mindset is and to be able to take that on board. But equally, we can think in the right way. But this next one here about impact is such an important thing, because how we show up and our behaviors will have a massive impact on whether or not anybody follows what we're trying to do in focus and direction, and will have a massive impact on whether people actually want to give their best for us and to be able to step up and be part of the team. And so how we show up is really important. So we will be looking at you, and you will be looking at yourself, and we will ask people in your sphere about the impact that you have, and we will look at that and help you to work on the areas that you need to work on. As an example, we did a lovely piece. Everybody was terrified at this point, by the way, when we did this piece, but it was really nice because they came back and said, actually, do you know what? When I asked, I got some really great insights and some really lovely stuff back and some really good stuff to work on. So it's a little scary, but believe you me, it's well worth doing. So we look in depth at your own impact, why that's important, and how we can really ramp that up in a positive way. And last but not least there, we call this systems and processes, which is, imagine that you have, I'm always talking in cakes and things like this. So imagine you have a cake manufacturing company and you're the boss and you want to go on holiday and you want to tell everybody to make the 10 of the best chocolate cakes. You may have a really good vision and mission, but unless you've got the systems and processes in place, then you're probably going to get the best chocolate cake that everybody thinks is. So there's no detail in there, there's no process in there. So people will just make the kind of thing they think is the best. So here we start to break down what things need to look like in a much lower level so that you can give those things away to people. That makes sense. So those are the 6 elements that we work on, and we start then to put the jigsaw together. So as we go through the program over the 12 months, we're going to be looking at training and coaching sessions across these areas. And we bring them together so that you are aware of who you are and how you show up, and then you can consciously choose where you want to go from there. And then we help you to do it. Okay, Susan, is there any questions you have or anything you wanted to say from that point? Just as I go through that?
No. I just wanted to flag up, there was a question from Samantha about how long the sessions are and how much homework is there.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. No, that's really helpful. Thank you, Samantha. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. I'm conscious it might get buried amongst all the others.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so Samantha, thank you for that question. The sessions are between 90 minutes and 2 hours long. I say 90 minutes, but often we have quite a lot of questions. So I say give 2 hours, and they are always at 9 o'clock in the morning. And once a month, as I said. Homework, that's always a big question. So as I said earlier on, one of my big things is about taking action, making change. You may not have noticed that what I didn't say is writing lots of stuff and like bringing reports in and for me to mark your homework. So what we focus on is at the end of every session, you will be able to choose what you're going to do, and I will advise what I think that you should be doing or could be doing around that subject. But you're all grown-ups, so you will choose what you want to do and how that relates to you. So there's no homework as such. However, when you are on a session, what we're looking to help you to do is to bring this into your daily life, work, everything. Okay, so I have a little picture of a plant because we were talking about osmosis, and I like this. It's like suck it up and suck it into your life, because what I would rather you did was go away and test it with your colleagues, even your friends and family. We have sometimes go away and try it out rather than write me a report about it. Okay, so yes, there is a little bit of work to do in terms of I might give you a document to complete that's got paragraphs in or sentences that you've got to think about, but there isn't anything where I'm going to ask you to come back and write me a report. Okay.
I mean that's basically the whole idea of the structure of the program, is to embed it into actuals so that you can learn from that, rather than it being something that sort of you go on a course and then you park it and maybe not even pick it up again.
Yeah, indeed.
It becomes sort of second nature, shall we say.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm trying to say, but you probably said it a bit better there. Is allowing it to be part of you. And it's funny actually, because I think that's the whole point about this. We have people saying, oh, I'm using this in places I didn't think I'm using it, because it's now I understand it, and that's why I use a lot of what people probably think are a little bit odd in a way, but I use a lot of analogies and pictures in our minds of actual situations, rather than just talking about leadership concepts. That's not what we're here for. What we're here is to say, what does that really mean? And how can I implement it? Otherwise, it's really not of any use. It's just a nice reading, nice to have. Whereas what we want to do is make this very useful, and therefore you can actually implement it. Yeah.
And learn from each other. So,
oh gosh, yes, and that's the beauty of it, and that links into Morwenna's question there about how many people on the course at any one time. We say a maximum 12, Morwenna. We've already had, actually, I've already had some people, I think because they previously saw one of our discovery sessions. I've got one lady I've already signed up, and another lady that's already asked for a strategy session, and another lady that wants to join. So 12 people at any one time is what we have, because what that means, Morena, is that, I hope I've pronounced that right, is that everybody has an opportunity to speak, because we're here at the moment and you guys are on chat, but when we're in our Zoom calls, everybody has their camera on, everybody has the ability to speak and ask questions, and it's my job to help you to feel confident to do that. So there are different ways of learning. There's listening to what I've got to say, that's one small way. There's bringing your thoughts, that's another way. And then as hearing what other people have got to say is another way. And then there's the conversations that we have between all of that that bring that group learning over. And if you have 12, there's probably about the maximum that I would say that you can really enable everybody to get an opportunity to speak, and to feel part of something rather than just a number. And that's why we keep it these low levels, because we want your interaction. We don't want, oh, well, there's a little slide about what we don't want as well, isn't there, later on? So okay, so these are the 6 areas, and we have names for those 6 areas, just to, for me to really kind of get home to what we're saying. So the first one, the focus, the direction, is what we're talking about is the trip sat nav. So we're going to learn the trip method. I'm not going to go into it today. The team accelerator process is going to help us to engage with people and to really make that very, very powerful for us. We're going to look at the resource maximizer for our skills and developing our resources. And we've got the catalytic converter to convert our mindset into that leader. It's going to be a major change in what we do. We've got the mission ignition system, which is the impact that we have, how we show up, and the impact that has on other people in terms of what they do and how they feel about us. And last but not least, which is one of my favorite things, but perhaps I find the hardest, is the cruise control dashboard, which is the bit that allows us to step back and give away some of the jobs that we shouldn't necessarily be doing. And we should allow other people to do, so that they can grow and we can do some other stuff that's just as important. Okay, so let's just have a look at the program. So it's 12 months, but it has an intro session at the start and the month before, so that we get to know everybody and understand it and how to use the systems, and a one at the end. So it's actually technically 14 months. We start on the 4th of November. There's maximum 12, and I don't know if you can tell from how I'm talking, but I like everybody to interact. I want people to be able to ask questions. I want people to challenge each other, including me, and I want people to have fun. Because I've been on many courses that aren't really very fun, and after a while it can get a little bit boring. I don't know about you. So we want people to be able to, bring themselves, bring their humanity, bring their humor into that, and enjoy what we've got. The current group, no, hold on, I've got two current groups at the moment running, and the one before that is when they finish, they have decided that their celebration is we're all going to go on a zip wire. But there's you don't have to do that. But they are going on. They all decided that's what they wanted to do. There were a few more really scary suggestions. They've got
I want to see the pictures.
Yeah, exactly. I know we can put them on here, but it's not compulsory. Don't worry. But that's just for that cohort. But I think it's part of growing as a team and growing as a group of people that start to really learn and trust each other. And actually in this environment, I think is really important, because sometimes I think it can be a little bit closed, and it really opens up people to trust in others. So that's lovely. And as it says, developing yourself and your confidence as a leader, and therefore your opportunities. And that's what we're finding with people. I think almost everybody that's been on the programs so far have either been promoted or have got the job that they wanted to. And those in business have grown their business and been much more focused on what they're trying to achieve and how to achieve it. Yeah. Fiona says, does the cost include VAT? Fiona, at the moment, we are not VAT registered. However, I think after this one, we may well be. So at the moment, there is no VAT on top of that. So if you're an individual, that's good for you. If you're a company that's VAT registered, it doesn't really make any difference. But no, there's no VAT on top of that. Okay. So let's go back to, so let's have a look at this then. How do we actually structure the program? First thing we do is we do a behavioural profiling assessment, and that will come into the program as well. So we use DISC on that one. And then the first session we have is the introduction to the program, as I mentioned. So we're going to make sure that we understand what it is that we're all about, who we are, and get to know each other as a group, and make sure that we can use all the technology and iron out all those little things. And then we have training or coaching sessions. So the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 are training sessions, and 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 are coaching sessions. So essentially what that means, as we go around those different elements, we're going to be doing training and coaching, and in between you're going to be going off and having a go. So what it does, it gives you that time to embed all that learning, to have a go with it, and to have some coaching around it. Okay. And then the last one is the where now and how do we plan for the future. We also have a Facebook group where we upload our things that we've done, get a feedback on it. I put in videos on there as well. If you've got a question, I can answer it in that way. And that means that we actually have contact all the way through the whole of the 14 months. It's not a place for cat pictures. It's a place for us to talk about the stuff that we're doing, but enjoy ourselves within that. So you know, there's lots of chat going on for people who have questions around what they're doing or want some feedback. Okay. Anna says, is the cost spread out over 12 months or a one-off payment? Anna, we previously have done a one-off payment. The first time we did some part payments was the last one, where we just went into the COVID session, COVID period, and so we did look at alternative options for people who needed it. We can talk about that if you want to. What I'll do is, if for anybody who's interested, what we're going to do is we're going to pop out. In fact, I'll pop out now an application form, and you can book in a strategy session with me, and we can talk about your individual situations and what you want to do and what you want to achieve. So in fact, if I put that out now, and then for anybody who wants to, so you should see something set up that says book my strategy session. If you want to book a strategy session, fill that in. It brings up my calendar and hopefully finds you a spot. And if you want an application form, oh, I nearly deleted it then. Hopefully somebody can tell me that I've just shared the application form that you can download and a link to the strategy session if you want to. So you can pop in there, Anna, and pop an appointment in with me, and then we can chat about how that works. Okay. Sarah says, I know this always comes up. Do we need to be on Facebook? No, Sarah, you don't have to if you don't want to be on Facebook. The Facebook group is an addition. If you don't like Facebook, if you really don't want to be on it, then you don't have to be at all. It's not a formal part of the course. It's more the sort of like the support in between. You can use email if you want to, and some of mine use WhatsApp, but the Facebook group is really, really very useful, but we can talk about that. You've received the application form and you haven't received the thing for the strategy session. Well, hang on then. Thank you for that. Try that. That might work better if I press the button. Okay, good. Right, so let's have a look at the next thing then. So who is it not for? Well, it's not for what I call ostriches. And ostriches, what I mean by that is people who put their head in the sand. Thank you, Fiona, for that. Strategy session's just come through. So it's not for people who put their head in the sand. And what I mean by that is that I don't want you to come on this course and invest your time, your energy, your money, or your organisation's money, and you not join in, you not want to change. It's better that you just go on one of those other courses. What this is about is for people who really just want to find out and have a go, and join in, because you're going to enjoy it, and it's going to mean much more to you. It's going to be much more valuable to you. So we don't want people that are going to just say, well, I could do that, but all the time. So just in case, and I'm sure none of you are, but just in case. And it's not for people who, as it says there, who don't want to change and grow. And it's not for people who want a quick fix. I need this to be done and I don't want to make any effort, because although there's no reports, you do have to try and have a go. And that might just mean talking to your colleagues. It might just mean asking some questions. It might just mean being open to listening, but that's really important that you are open to that. I say that now because it's very important. And I've just had an email from Stefania, who can't get in, so I'll send her the video and the recording. Poor dear. So it's also not for people, as it says there, who just want to sit back and be told. It's not going to be a lecture. It's a interactive environment that we want people to have, which is why I say sometimes the sessions could be 2 hours, because if there's questions, that's really important to be able to answer them. And not for those who are perfect already, not for perfect leaders or those who think they are, because nobody's perfect. And we can waste a lot of time trying to be perfect. We might as well just be ourselves. Cool. So it is for you if you want to learn and experience this and grow. And you like to be, or you want to be, might not like it at the moment, but believe you me, you'll get used to it. You want to be part of a group who are growing just like you. And that's one of the things I just want to say, actually, that often what I hear from people before they start is, I don't think I can be in a group. I don't want to open up. I don't, it's a private space and everybody, I don't want people might know me and all those things. A lot of people feel the same way. But every single person who's been through this program, who's on the program now, has realized that once we get to know each other, and through what I'm trying to do is to create a trusted environment where that actually goes away, and you will learn massively and experience massively from other people who are growing just like you. And the more you can be part of that, the more you will really get rewarded by that, with opportunity, with learning, and enjoyment of the program.
Haven't they, some of the groups done some group things together, like group projects?
Yes. So we had coming out of somebody complaining, because you know how people, it's not like that for conservatives, or no, this is, we don't get paid enough, or whatever. I can't remember what came out of it really, but the person who said that probably regretted it initially, because what we say in the Leaders Launchpad is, don't moan about it. What shall we do about it? Okay. And so what then came out of that was actually some ideas of like, well, how can we change the face of this? How can we start to do that? How can we be the ones who are leaders and who do something about it? So there was one group that went to the ACR conference, and didn't they go to another one as well? I think they did a paper as well, and they worked together. So people from National Trust, sole traders, all different people coming together and working on a project together, which was fantastic. We had people going to the conference and speaking up at the conference. We've got all sorts of things like that where people start to work together. In one of our current cohorts, we've got people that are starting to work together and finding that they actually can utilize each other's genius, let's say. And so that's really, really good too. So there's loads of opportunity. Lisa says, could I tell you how many sessions it will be? Lisa, there are 14 in total, including the introduction and the end one. There are 12 of the training sessions and the 12 of training coaching sessions. So you've got one a month for 14 months, essentially. If you can't attend all of them, although I will put the dates out, if you can't attend, obviously best is to be able to attend all of them. But if you can't attend, we record all the sessions, so you can go back, even if you did attend, you can go back and watch again, which is sometimes quite useful. And you get all the slides to go with that as well. Okay. Right. Where did I get to there? No.
You got to the group bits. But then
I got to what bit? Did I just miss one out? Or...
No, you finished the group bit.
Oh, okay. So the third one there, you want to grow at your pace with support and challenge. Yeah, I'm really good at I'm good at challenging, I think, but I think we do it with support, with love. And what we say in the group is that we hold each other up. There is no room for competition and bringing each other down. What we're here for is to grow with each other. So it's really important that we do that. We support and we challenge you in the best way. And it's great if you want to learn from others and develop your ideas and share, then we would love to have you. Other people say, what do other people say? Well, let's just have a look at a few of these. We are supportive of each other in the training sessions. The mix is good and that's helpful. There's nothing more empowering than feeling that you have a network of support behind you as you make brave decisions. Yeah, We do. We put the brave pants on from time to time. It gives us a collective focus and allows us to work constructively together. Yeah, there's a lot of. It's interesting how people are enjoying that collective group environment. My advice to anyone considering this as an option is to go for it. It's a fully immersive experience. Be ready for the challenge to think differently and try new approaches. Yeah. It's given me the confidence to push for things I believe in at work and apply for new roles. So many of them have applied for new roles, getting that confidence to be able to do that. I can't remember who said this. I'm great at coaxing the ideas out of people. And yeah, because to me, it means that everybody gets that opportunity to speak rather than just being, a lurker in the corner, which is nice, but we want to bring that out as well. So it's a very open and honest place. Okay. There's a lot about the support that we have there. I'm sure you're reading it all as we go along. But last one that I'm going to read out. I'm really learning a lot from how to deal with different types of people on top of the structured course learning. Yeah, we do a lot on getting the best out of people. And this one here, allowing me to develop outside of my organisation. Normally would take these programs internally, but it's good to get out and to experience other points of view, I think, as well. Cool. So let's have a look. What other things have we got here? I really enjoy the webinars. You keep things light and buoyant, but manage to get across the key learnings. Yeah, it's really important. I love to bring humour, but it's very much about making sure that we actually do learn something as well. We're very, very keen on making sure that you get the idea and you have a go. The ease access of being able to do it remotely has been terrific. Yeah, that's important. The monthly sessions give you time to plan, organise, reflect, and implement work. Yeah. Lots of I can't read them all out, but there's loads and loads there. This is the one I think is really important. This was from Zoe from the British Library. Having Julie's detailed insights and a much tailored approach to my individual needs and situation as a relatively new manager of people, to be mentoring and leading an enthusiastic and dedicated team of conservators. I hoped this course would show me how to get the best out of each individual, and it very much achieved this. Zoe's lovely, Zoe, and I think one of the really great things that Zoe got out of it was the ability to be able to step back and delegate and trust, and really found some really good learning points there, and being able to test that out in a safe environment, really important. And she says there, I now have a consciousness of leveraging the value of people and their skills differently. Yeah, we talk a lot about how to leverage the value of people and leveraging people's genius, putting people in flow. So that's the lovely Zoe, and a couple of others here. From Rebecca, she's on our current one. It's given me a different perspective on my work environment and my behaviour, and I thought I've never looked at it like this. Yeah. Okay, and Dorgu, she's getting there. She's starting to understand what leadership, influence, vision, mission really start to. Well, what does that mean in the real world? What does that actually mean when you start to utilise those things? Okay, so my question to you is, when we talk about all of these things, how do you think you show up as a leader? You don't have to put it in the box. You don't have to, but just think about, well, I put some image on here for a bit of fun, but how do I show up as a leader? Because sometimes we're not conscious of that. It's a bit like driving to work. Sometimes we don't know that we're, how did we get here? We just do it unconsciously. And getting conscious about who I am and how I show up a leader is really important. So ask yourself that question, how am I showing up? And one of the things that we do in order to help people is we do what we call the dashboard. One of the very first things we do is to look at measuring how we think we come up. So here's just a little, what I call a spider diagram of somebody's ability to be a leader under these 6 elements. And so we start to break that down and look at measuring in a nice, open, easy way of how do I think, what do I need to work on? How do I need to bring that out? So as you can see here, this person's pretty good at focus and direction and developing people, but wants to work on their mindset and their systemization, let's say. And so we start to look at that at the beginning, and then we look at it again at the end to see how we've gone. So that's really all I have to say. In summary, the course is 1,997, and that includes, as we said, a whole year, 14 months, 14 90-minute to 2-hour sessions, and the Facebook group is available to you there as well. Helps you to get to know yourself, to grow yourself and grow those opportunities for you. And also, as it says there, and it's become even more important, I think, as we're talking over the last couple of years, is grow conservation as a sustainable business model, to make sure that it does have its place, and it is strong by having strong leaders. Okay. What do you do now? Well, if this is something that you think, yep, actually, do you know what? I'd really like to find out more, or I really want to join, that's fine. You can book a call with me at the moment, because I think that everybody else is not available. Complete the application form that hopefully you can all see. I don't need War and Peace. I just need to understand who you are, and what's going on for you. And then we have a call and decide if you're a fit for the program and I'm a fit for you, because it will be me that's going to be delivering the program. And if we think that, yep, we're both a fit, then you get selected to be on the program. You sign up and we start on the 4th of November. So that is as much as particularly as I want to say. If you should have had the strategy session thing there, if you've already done that, then just stick and apply in the box to me. If you want to chat, that's fine. You can email me at julie@thinkb2leadership.com with your strategy session. Send the application form to me. That has that on the form as well, so don't worry, you don't have to remember. And you can book your strategy session in my calendar on that link. And now I just want to answer any questions or anything that you have that you might want to check out or understand about the course. I do actually have the dates as well. I've just realised I added in a little extra one. There you go. There's the dates. It's the first 9, I think, are on a Wednesday, but then I'm going to change to Tuesdays because I've got some stuff going on Wednesday. So those are the dates, just in case you want to know. So it starts in November. Okay. Samantha says, thank you very much for info. Lots to think about. Yep, absolutely. Should we apply before booking the strategy session? Book the strategy. I can't even say it, can I, Kate? Book the session. And I just like you to have the application, because it gives me a bit of information about who you are. It doesn't hold you to anything. Don't worry. It's just a document that I can actually see what you're all about on there, so that we can have that conversation in the strategy session. So book your session, and then if you can, before that session, send me that form. That'll be lovely. Okay. So any questions or comments, Susan, if you want to say anything, then...
I was just going to flag up the CPD grants that Anna Plowden are promoting at the moment, with a deadline of the 14th of September. So that's obviously, if you're looking to get some external funding, that's an opportunity for you to look at. The details are on the ICON website under the training pages. If you go to training and then go to grants, and it'll be other grants.
Brilliant. Yeah, and that's it's not to be sniffed at, because I think that Anna Plowden has supported a number of people on here. Just on that note, really, I suppose, in terms of funding, some people have an organisation that's going to pay for it, and that's great. Some people get funding from Anna Plowden or wherever it might be, or a local grant or something like that. And other people are in a business and they pay it through the business. And other people, because they recognise that they want to develop and this will give them opportunities to grow their career, will pay for it themselves. And sometimes it's a bit of all of those things, which is why it's worth having that conversation about how that can be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Abigail says, are they the only grants available? Do you know of any others?
They're the ones that are most imminent in terms of conservation specific. But you can always look at local providers as well, because you might get some business development grants, or particularly if you're a private practice. So it's worth having a look around, because it's quite a generic sort of topic. So
yeah, leadership, there's quite a lot. There's a lot for people who are in business, definitely. So if you have a small business at the moment, there's quite a bit available. And if you haven't applied for your what was it called, CBILS grant, that's about shutting the loan. That is an option if you need to. But we do accept credit cards as well. I've put this slide on just really to remind you, but we do accept credit cards as well. So if it's something that you're paying for personally, you can spread the payments that way. But if you need to have a conversation with me, then please do. There's no problem. Okay.
I'm not sure whether the grants are, the Anna Plowden grant is available to non-UK residents. I just suggest you go on their website and find out.
Yeah,
So
good idea.
sorry, I can't give you the direct answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, Kate. Kate, was it yourself that was in Singapore? I can't remember now. Yeah, and so that's really everything I've got to say about the program. If you are, oh, Abigail says it wouldn't be. If you are in doubt or you're thinking, well, maybe it might be for me, it might not be for me, I'm quite happy to have a conversation. So just book yourself a strategy session and we can have a chat. We start November the 4th. So we tried to do it so that everybody who wanted to apply for a grant would be able, would be able to get that in and find out about that. But I do urge you to think about the value that it will bring to you as an individual, in terms of what you'll gain from it over time, to invest in yourself as well.
Kate, you might want to look at EU funding, perhaps.
In the lovely Netherlands, yes. Yeah, I think one of the things is now's the time. You've got time to do a bit of digging. If it's important to you around that, to get some support for that, is to do a bit of digging and really understand where can I go, and go local and go to the government and have a look at if there's anything hanging around, because quite often there is. And I do quite a lot of work with the local councils around where I live, and they're always saying, why doesn't anybody ever take the grants? Because quite often people think they're not going to get it, or they didn't know it existed, and people aren't looking hard enough, and quite often people miss out because they didn't know it was there. So have a good old rummage and see what there is. Right. So thank you. That's the end. Kate, thank you. I see you have to leave. So do we. So I'll end it there unless there's any other questions. But give me a shout if you have anything questions, and I hopefully will see you on the programme. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Yeah, good luck. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.